As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. What a fantastic book. It's a YA novel. It's a fictional story based on true events. So this book is inspired by this revolution, this Syrian revolution. And we're talking about 10, 12 years ago when they had this tyrannical regime of Assad, and the story is based on that. And it's a heart-wrenching story, but also at the same time it's a beautiful love story. I mean, it has everything. It has, the story has compassion, love, hope, resilience, and this book is gorgeously written by Sulfa Katu. And I'll tell you a little bit about this author, Sulfa Katu. Sulfa Katu is a Canadian based in Switzerland, and she has roots in Syria. So one day she encountered some Westerners, and they asked her a lot of questions about Syria because they didn't know anything about Syria. So she was like, man, these people, they need to know about this country called Syria because there are a lot of things happening in Syria. And I guess that's when the revolution was happening. And she thought, okay, I got to write a book about Syria. And that's when she had this idea of writing a book. And that's when she started writing this incredible book, As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. And the title of the book, she got it from a famous poem verses of a famous poet, Nisar Khabani's poem about Syria. Okay, and yeah, every child, every lemon bring forth a child, and lemons will never die out. And also, there's a saying in Syria, Homs Syria, because that's where the story is based. Every house in Homs has a lemon tree, and this lemon tree, it's been growing there for like centuries. I mean, the country suffered a lot. I mean, so no matter what happens to the country, these lemon trees are still growing, and it's growing for so many years. And yeah, so that's the story behind this title. And I'll tell you a little bit about the book. I'll give you a summary, okay? But I'm not going to give you uh, all everything. I don't want to spoil the fun, okay? So I'll just tell you a little bit about this book right now. So the story revolves around this amazing girl called Salama Kasab. Salama Kasab is barely 18. She's a pharmacist. And even although she's 18 years old, she is way mature for her age. She just finished her first year of pharmacy, and that's when the war broke out. So she couldn't continue her studies, so she volunteered to work at a hospital, and she had to take up the job of a surgeon because there are no doctors available at that hospital. And she's grappling throughout this novel, about different stuff. Um, she's seeing uh, injured civilians every day, and she has to treat them. She has to save their lives. And we're talking about a war-torn country, and this hospital is a beacon of hope. So you see like a lot of patients, a lot of people are suffering, and they're all coming to the hospital because of the bombings. And some people are like they're getting shot, and they're coming to the hospital. And so she's doing her best to save their lives and showing up every single day. And on top of that, she has this stress disorder called PTSD, which manifested itself into hallucination, in which she see an imaginary person called Quaf. So Quaf is an Arabic word meaning fear. So she has this internal conflict. So every time after she finish, every day after she finish her job, and after she go back to her home, she see this imaginary person. This is an inner conflict, inner interaction with this guy. And you kind of hate him in the beginning, but then you realize that this Quaff is actually a part of her, and at times he would guide her to make decisions and stuff. And she loved this country Syria so much, but also at the same time she knows that bombs are falling, and her best friend, her pregnant friend, best friend Laila, has to deliver her baby. Her due date is coming up, so she has to find a way to get out of the country, and she is doing everything. Salama is doing everything to help the people, but she knows that sooner or later she's going to die because of the civil war. So she has to find a way to get out of the country. So she has to find this guy who would smuggle people out from the country to Germany, and she has to find some money to pay him and get out of the country. So she's grappling throughout this novel, and she Salam. The story. This story is all about her emotional turmoil, and this hospital is just incredible. It's a beacon of hope for a lot of people. So regardless of all these things happening to her, she's still coming there every single day and doing her best. And at one point she loses interest in life until she meets this wonderful guy, Keenan. So who's Keenan? Keenan uh, wears heart on his sleeve. Keenan is a fantastic guy. So Keenan and Salama was supposed to get engaged. Their family arranged a meeting, and what happened was they had this meeting in Salama's house, but this happened before the revolution started. So they wouldn't talk to each other when they first see each other, right? And then the war broke out, and this engagement didn't work out. So Keenan, his sister got injured one time, and so Keenan would take his sister to the hospital where Salama is working. So that's when they have this first interaction, the real interaction is happening, and this is it's a beautiful love story, and you have this beautiful moments. Okay, this story of the sinking ship. We all like that story, but what makes it so amazing, this Titanic movie, is the story of Jack and Rose, right? So likewise in this book, we learn a lot of this hard cold facts about Syria and this crazy tyrannical regime, but this love story makes it so beautiful. And 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 then they have this conversation, this beautiful moments in this hospital, and Keenan would ask Salama, "Hey Salama, why didn't you talk to me when I came to your house first time? Do you remember the day I visited your house?" And she's like, "Yeah, I remember everything." And he was like, "So why didn't you talk to me? You didn't say a single word. Why didn't you say anything?" And Salama was like, "Yeah, you were into, yeah, all this freedom fight and everything. So I thought you were like a stuck up. I thought you were a snob or something." So, and the Kenan started laughing, and he was like, you know what? I thought the same about you. I thought you were a stuck up too." So they had this beautiful moments in this book, and the love story of Keenan and Salama is absolutely amazing. And Keenan is a protester. He is fighting for the freedom of Syria. He is fighting. He's supporting this Free Syrian Army. When all these things happening, he really wanted to be in this country in Syria, but Salama would later convince him to get out of the country, and so it's you have all these twists and surprises. So you got to read this book, and there's something about this book. This author, she has a very strong perspective about uh, refugees and immigrants. So if you're an immigrant at some point of your life, you know what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of these refugees, they go to different countries because of several reasons, and as the Westerners, they take these refugees for granted. It's not fair. So these refugees or these immigrants, they're leaving their country. Some of them, they don't want to leave the country. They want to stay in this country, but they leave the country because of some real strong, solid reasons, and we don't know. So one day they would have to pack the bag and leave the country just like that, and then they would go to a new country where they had to start everything all over again. And remember, this country where they're going to settle down, they don't know anything. They don't know the people. They don't know the language. So it takes an immense strength, immense courage for a person to leave their home country and go to a new country and start a new life. So the author Zulfa Khattur, she has some very strong perspective about immigrants and their immigrants' journey, refugees' journey, and yeah, it's the way it's written is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, so it's a fantastic book. The book will, the story is about uh, human emotions. It's, and also this main character. You'll find out that she's always going through this emotional turmoil. She's always distraught, and but she's still doing her best to survive. And she has this emotional turmoil back and forth, and she's just an absolutely incredible person. And so yeah, this story is about compassion, resilience, persistence, hope, and most importantly, you'll learn a lot about this book. Okay. um, for me, this book is so significant because when you turn on the TV, every day, you watch it on news channels about this massacres, this human genocide, this kids are getting slaughtered, all these, crazy events happening all around the world. This aid workers are getting shot, especially at the Gaza border. So, this book, this revolution, the Syrian revolution, is a reality. It happened about 10, 12 years ago. So these are hard, cold facts. And also, the author talks a lot about nature. This girl, Salama, when she gets stressed out, she always use the word jasmine, jasmine, jasmine. And the author talks a lot about the nature in Syria, the lemon trees, and the jasmine, the orchids, and so you learn a lot about the country. Homs, Syria, Damascus is only a few kilometers away from Homs, and so that's why this, it's a must read. And like I said before, the most important thing, the book will teach us empathy, how you should show empathy to our fellow humans. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.